All right, my dear Americans, happy 4th of July. I have expressed my love and admiration for the United States of America for a very long time. Even when I was a Muslim, even when I was a young Pakistani man, I actually wanted to go to America. And I could have been an American back in 2003, but it was a different world back then. People who looked like me had just flown planes into the World Trade Center buildings. So I can understand it was a different world back then. And being a young Muslim Pakistani man, I wasn't given the student visa. However, Australia took me in. So I became an Australian citizen and I stay loyal to Australia. And by virtue of Australia being a Western country and my admiration for Western civilization, I, of course, love and admire the United States, the UK, Canada, New Zealand, all Anglosphere countries, along with other Western European countries, because I'm a Western civilizationist. But it hurts me to see the direction pretty much every Western country is going in. The country, the society, the civilization that I left behind, i.e. Islam and Islamic civilization, unfortunately, that is spreading its tentacles all across the Western world. And I've said it before, America is the muscle of Western civilization. If you remove America, you've already seen how pathetic Western armies have become, which is why I hold America higher than anything. Because without America, Western civilization is as dead as dodo, which is why I constantly keep making videos about America, even though I've never been to America. But I will go to America one day. It remains my lifelong dream, but I want to do it properly. I want to go everywhere. I want to go to LA. I want to go to San Francisco. Yes, I want to go to New York too. New York, the city that never sleeps. I grew up looking at New York in a completely different light. But unfortunately, New York is the new London. It hurts me to see the direction every Western country is going in. But I am an optimistic person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Otherwise, I would have also just rolled over and done something else. Because I'm an optimistic person, I believe that a 7th century archaic, barbaric caveman ideology cannot overthrow the greatest civilization the world has ever known. And for that, we all need to fight together. We all need to work together, because we got to remember the American Revolution, the only successful revolution in history. And boy, wasn't just an ordinary success. The American Revolution gave us the United States of America. I have always said it. America is the most benign superpower. Let me show you this. I didn't think about talking about this. I just saw this tweet by another British Muslim Islamist. I'm sorry about my language that I used, because I'm done. I'm done playing nice with these people. Look at this. Look at this Islamist. His name is Moazzam Begg. Before I read out that tweet, look at him. A perfect Islamist jihadi, born and raised in Britain. Author, ex-Guantanamo Bay prisoner, senior director at Cage, and advocate for the rights of those held unjustly. Birmingham. So this is what he posted. Look at this. He's not happy with this vigilante movie. Of course, this movie is doing something right because it's pissing off all the right people. Look at his comparison. Imagine a film about resistance fighters wreaking vengeance upon British and American soldiers that had raped and murdered tens of thousands across 2 decades of occupation in Iraq and Afghanistan. There were less than 50 rapes reported by US forces in Iraq. I don't think of any in Afghanistan. This is why I just said 50. I think the actual number is probably about 10 or 15. But let's just be charitable, yeah? And they were all punished accordingly. Such is the discipline of American forces, that America is the most benign superpower. Any other superpower, including the British Empire, do you think they would have released this guy? Ex-Guantanamo Bay prisoner. Do I need to remind you how Muslims treat enemy soldiers? I can't even talk about this without getting my video demonetized. But look at the pathetic nature of his line of reasoning. He is comparing a vigilante who is killing thousands, tens of thousands of rapes that are being perpetrated by his fellow brethren across Europe. Okay, the amount of data is unavoidable. No one can. I'm getting sick and tired of keep showing this statistic to you, but I have to keep doing this, unfortunately, because obviously a lot of you will be watching it for the first time. Let me just share with you what just happened in Germany alone, okay? The situation is not any different in any other European country. Look at this. 12% foreigners in Germany account for 67% of all gang rapes. And if you further drill it down, they're not foreigners from Switzerland or Austria or Britain or France or Sweden or Norway. They are the usual suspects. Look at them. Out of those 12%, less than 2% are Afghans and Africans, yet they account for 34% of all gang rapes of German women. The sheer scale is enough that it should put everyone to shame. These people should never utter a single word about racism or vigilante action from anyone. Look at this. Top 10 suspect rates for sexual offenses on children in Germany. Afghanistan, 6.8. Algeria, 4.7. Guinea, 4.4. Pakistan, 4.1. Gambia, 3.8. Iraq, Lebanon, Somalia, Syria, Tunisia. None of them are European. None of them are Westerners. All of them begged, literally on their knees, please let me in. There is war going on in my country. My own people are killing me. Please let me live in Europe. And the moment you let them in, you take pity. This is how they respond. And this is just Germany. So he's comparing that, which is a legitimate number, with something that almost never happened. As I said, less than 50 rape cases were reported by US forces or by US soldiers in Iraq. And they were all punished, severely punished. So I responded to him. I said, less than 50 rape cases were reportedly perpetrated by US forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. I just added Afghanistan. I don't think there was any such case, but they were punished accordingly. Here's a key difference. The US conquered your pathetic, weak countries. You didn't conquer Britain or Europe. You begged. You swallowed your pride. You begged to come to Europe or Britain. You came as economic migrants or asylum seekers. And any superpower, even the British Empire, they would have killed him for being an enemy combatant. But the US, the United States, the most benign superpower in human history, freed you. It freed you. You know what? This is why I actually believe that superpowers have to be somewhat brutal, somewhat merciless. But this is why America is so special. It's so special. I have enormous respect for Britain, the British Empire. Yeah, colonialism. It's a relic of the past, but again, at that time, in the 19th and the 20th centuries, by the standards of the time, the British Empire was also the most benign up until that point, until it was replaced by the United States. Which superpower cares about the human rights of the country, of the citizens it invades? No superpower. Forget about superpowers. If you look at the Muslim world, look what they're doing to each other. But there is no point in telling them about the greatness of America, because as I said, the time for debates, I think it's coming to an end. No matter what you do, no matter how much you compromise on your values to accommodate these people, they're not going to be satisfied. They will not rest until they have taken over. They have dismantled America. This is why it's so important on this beautiful day in history, the 4th of July. Let's remember the founding fathers. The founding fathers of America. Maybe they didn't know. I'm not an American history buff, but I have read enough on American history. I have watched enough documentaries and movies on American history that I can confidently say that the American founding fathers were really special. You know, there was a Bolshevik revolution in the 20th century. We all know how it ended. There was the French Revolution. We all know how it ended. But for some reason, there was something special about the American Revolution. There was something special about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and all the other founding fathers of America, that America ended up becoming the greatest superpower in history. And we have these people today. This video of Mamdani is going viral, where he's undermining the greatness of America by artificially superimposing himself and others like him. America became the greatest superpower in the history of mankind because of its founding principles, enshrined by its founding fathers, not by the later people. Look at this. Remember America. Remember the founding values of America.
You each hold a special power, the power to determine what America means.
He's going to tell us what America means.
The powerful have always known their answer. America, in their view, is an arena of supremacy, where only a select few are allowed freedom.
Only a select few? America was centuries ahead of the rest of the world. America is one of the first countries to truly introduce true democracy to the world. And then it extended it to other people and then it extended it to the rest of its population. And he's saying select few. American values and American principles ensured an ungrateful migrant like yourself hold political office. And you're saying only a select few?
Where not all are created equal. America, if you ask them, becomes less the more people it welcomes.
Yeah, no country can, no society, no country can survive by importing people who are antithetical to its foundational values, i.e., Muslims. These Muslims, he wants us to welcome these people. Amazing.
Unfortunately, these days we don't repeat this enough, or we don't have this aqidah concept firm in our minds that Islam did not come to coexist.
They're saying it themselves that they did not come here to coexist, and this traitor Mamdani is shaming and gaslighting Americans for not treating these people equally. Oh, they are not equals. They need to be mercilessly deported. And that's going to happen because no matter how much the Muslim Brotherhood spokespeople like him try to gaslight the natives, eventually the patience of Americans is going to run out.
America, they will tell you, belongs only to those with the right accent or the right shade of skin.
Bullshit. Isn't that a lie? Let me go that again. America does not belong to these people.
Wants to put a Muslim ban. He wants to ban Muslims. We will tell him, this isn't your country to ban. This is the land of Allah, as every land is the land of Allah. And there are Muslims here that are going to be here. And if you don't like it, I would suggest he goes somewhere else.
Americans have even given American citizenship to these cavemen. And Mamdani is saying that, oh, America only belongs to white people and the way they speak, or American accent, or Americans with American accents. No. That's how it should be, actually. No white people. Anyone who is loyal to America should be given American citizenship. And anyone like you or like that jihadi should be deported mercilessly.
The rest of us, they insist, should be grateful for merely being allowed to visit. How small they are. How weak. How unoriginal.
No, you shouldn't even be allowed to visit, I'd say. Times are changing. Times have to change. Americans have to become very hostile in defense of their values. Otherwise, you will become like Europe. This is what's happening in the streets of Europe. These people will never stop. This is what's happening in the streets of Europe. Muslim gangs are beating up the natives. And they're not slowing down. They're not admitting their mistake. They're constantly gaslighting you. So this guy is a gaslighter in chief.
At every moment in our past, those who led through exclusion and isolation have tried to win power and enrich themselves by turning us against one another.
Same old bullshit rhetoric by turning us against one another. They just didn't do that enough. America did not do that enough. America, foolishly I'd say, imported people from all over the world, even from antithetical cultures. As long as America was bringing in the Irish, the Italians, the French, and the Germans, America was rising. America was doing perfectly fine. But the moment America started bringing in people from antithetical cultures like yourself, it started falling apart. It is falling apart. But I have faith in America. I have faith in the foundational values of America. Americans will stand firm on their values. Otherwise, you people will never stop. Look at this. This is Dearborn, guys.
All right, so I just want to do one other quick point on this. After my wife made the video about the call.
Hear that in the background? They're shrieking, Allahu Akbar. Shrieking. They will not stop. It's perfectly okay for Americans to say, you people don't belong here. I don't want to bore you with the rest of his speech. These people will never stop. No matter what you do to them, no matter how much you compromise on your values to accommodate these people, they are not going to stop. They will do what they have done to Europe. They will do to you the same because it's in their manifesto. It's part of their belief system. They will never stop. Look at this. Japan, that was doing so well. They're doing that in Japan too. They're doing that in Japan too. And Japanese people are also getting sick and tired of them. Every country they go to, they try to take over because it's part of their belief system to take over, to spread Islam wherever they go. Look at this. They will not stop. They will not stop, guys. They will not stop coming at you. They will not rest until the whole world has submitted or succumbed to Islam. I say no more.